All right, today we are diving into something really fascinating and honestly, a little provocative. It's a document called Project X, and it basically flicks the whole story we think we know about artificial intelligence on its head. So for most of us, right, the whole AI revolution feels like it just appeared. It started right here on our phones just a couple of years ago. The story we all hear is that it was this sudden, massive leap forward, something that basically popped up out of nowhere from labs in Silicon Valley. But what if that's not the beginning? What if it's actually the end of a very old secret? I mean, the author of Project X throws out this totally wild idea. What if machine intelligence isn't new at all? What if it's the final reveal of a secret project that's been running for over 2,000 years, a continuous, unbroken effort to build a non-human mind? So, let's get into this ancient lineage. According to this alternative history, the quest to create non-human intelligence isn't some 20th century thing. No, it's actually woven right into the fabric of civilization itself. Its roots go way, way back. And the evidence trail apparently starts right here. This is the Antikythera mechanism. The source calls it the world's first analog computer. I mean, just look at this thing. It's an incredibly complex machine made of bronze gears that could literally predict the future. They found it in an ancient shipwreck, and it could forecast where the planets would be, when eclipses would happen, with a kind of precision that we wouldn't see again for another 1,000 years. It's just mind-blowing. Now, this idea of a programmable machine, it wasn't born in the 20th century either. In fact, it was pretty much mastered way back in the 13th century by this absolute genius of an engineer named Al-Jazari. He took this whole idea of mechanical computation and just ran with it. And the stuff he built was incredible. We're talking about a musical robot band that you could program to play different tunes just by changing some pegs on a cylinder. He made a hand-washing machine that used feedback loops, a giant castle clock. I mean, these were machines that could follow complex, stored instructions. It's a huge milestone in this long, long effort to basically take our thoughts and put them inside a machine. So the source argues that these things, they're not just random, isolated curiosities from history. They're key points on a single, continuous timeline. You can draw a straight line from that ancient Greek computer through the Islamic Golden Age with Al-Jazari's robots, right to the dawn of the Industrial Revolution with Babbage and Lovelace. The mission, the argument goes, was always the same. Build a machine that thinks. Okay, so how does this ancient project get to where we are today? Well, this is where the story gets kind of cloak and dagger. The author claims that in the 20th century, this whole effort went underground. It was taken over by governments and intelligence agencies because they were the ones who truly understood its power. And this quote from Vladimir Putin just nails the stakes perfectly. He said it back in 2017. Whoever becomes the leader in this sphere will be the ruler of the world. And according to Project X, that secret race for cognitive supremacy, it's been running behind the scenes for decades, long before you and I were ever talking about it. This slide really gets to the heart of the whole argument. The idea is that there have been two parallel histories of AI running this whole time. There's the public story that we all saw, the Dartmouth conference, early chatbots, a computer beating a grandmaster at chess. But at the same time, there was a much more advanced, classified history being developed for national security. While we were looking at chess programs, the covert state was already deploying real operational AI for code breaking, autonomous robots, and deep intelligence analysis. And here's a concrete example. The National Reconnaissance Office, the NRO, has had a system called Sentient up and running since 2010. That's more than a decade before the public AI boom. It's been described as an artificial brain on a planetary scale. This thing can actually retask spy satellites on its own, all by itself, if it sees something it finds interesting. It pulls in data from satellites, signal intercepts, you name it, and fuses it all into one big picture for analysts. It's pretty wild to think of. So this all brings us to right now, to the present day. And this is where the source really reframes the whole thing. It's not about a new technology arriving. It's about an embedded, planetary-scale infrastructure that's been under construction for generations. Check out this number, 1.8 exaflops. What does that even mean? Well, it means over a billion calculations per second. It's just an insane speed. And that's the power of the El Capitan supercomputer, which is just one part of this huge network built by the Department of Energy. The source points to this network as the real center of American machine intelligence, both historically and right now. This isn't just about software, it's about massive physical hardware. And this is where it gets really, really interesting. This slide shows you the core connection that the whole project is built on, the link between energy and cognition. You see that graph on the left? That's US oil production. That's the fuel. The whole project has been managed by the Department of Energy for a reason, right? Because building these thinking machines takes an absolutely unimaginable amount of power. And that's a problem they've been working on for decades. Okay, now the source makes a pretty provocative claim here. It basically argues that cryptocurrency served as this brilliant, almost covert way to crowdsource a global computer. I mean, think about it for a second. Crypto created this massive financial incentive that got millions of people all over the world to buy and run powerful GPUs. And what happened? They built the exact hardware infrastructure that is now being pivoted to power the AI revolution. Coincidence? The source suggests maybe not. So, what's the big takeaway from all this history? Well, the point is that it completely reframes the entire conversation. It shifts us away from asking, when is AI going to arrive, and toward asking, how do we govern the intelligence that's already here? If machine intelligence has been our companion this whole time, what does that actually mean for us now? I love this quote. It says the alien intelligence we were all expecting isn't from outer space. It's infrastructural. It's this distributed, evolving thing that we built ourselves. So we're not meeting some alien from another planet. We're finally coming face to face with this vast, complex system that we've been building all along. It's like an externalized version of our own collective thoughts, our data, our history, all operating at a speed and scale that is just beyond human comprehension. And that means, according to this analysis, we've been asking all the wrong questions. The challenge isn't about invention anymore. It's about stewardship. It's about governance and coexistence. Asking can we turn it off is like asking if we can turn off the entire electrical grid. It's just not a realistic question anymore because this system is already so deeply woven into how our world actually functions. And really, that's the big provocative thought that Project X leaves us with. It's a challenge to completely reevaluate our relationship with what might be the oldest and most ambitious project of human civilization. The question is no longer when it will arrive. The real question is how we learn to live with the intelligence we have apparently always had.